Here's Anthony in Virginia, pronouns are he, him, wants to talk about whether or not naturalism can be ruled out. So welcome, Anthony. How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry, I'm still laughing about that. I called last week, Matt, and when I went back and watched the video, I just think I did a terrible job. So I wanted to try round two if you have the patience to indulge me.
I have no idea if I have the patience or not, because I have people calling with obvious pranks. So at least you're not a prank caller. So welcome. You can talk to Apostate Prophet and myself and see if you can make your case.
I will help Matt with the patience. Right. I have a little bit of patience, so please go ahead.
All right, I'm ready. I don't know if you want to put a timer, but
start the clock.
All right. Well, basically, atheists. One thing I hear atheists say is that there's no good evidence or no good reason to believe in God. When I was basically trying to argue last week, is that there actually is good reason. If a person believes that the forces of nature acting alone, unaided, cannot produce something we observe in nature, namely life, then at that point it does become reasonable to believe that some sort of intelligence may have played a part or may have been the cause. And that would serve as a reasonable basis for belief in God or some sort of intelligent creator. And I wondered if you would just simply agree to that premise.
No, absolutely not. It's the most ridiculous thing that's been presented. And I just had somebody prank call. You just said that there is good reason. And what I typed as you wrote it was this: if a person believes that the forces of nature acting alone are insufficient to begin life, then it's reasonable to believe that there is a creator. That's not the way reason works. You don't get to say, if I believe the moon is made of green cheese, it's reasonable to believe that mice would love it. That is an incredibly flawed argument, start to finish. There is nothing useful in it at all.
I think the actual argument is even much worse than your example that you just gave. So I don't even get it.
Well, all right, let me try to reformulate it. Basically, we know that intelligence
on the fly
can.
Wait a minute. You had an entire week after failing miserably last week, and the first thing you come up with is absolutely a train wreck, and you think you're going to reformulate this on the fly? Are you sure?
Well,
you sure you don't want to take a week and call back?
Let me answer the point. Maybe try to respond to the point you made is a better way to. We know that intelligent agents can produce ends much more quickly than unaided forces of nature. So if we can say that the forces of nature are extremely unlikely to have caused something to have happened, namely the origin and diversification of life.
Stop, Anthony. You're done. What you said was, we know that intelligent agents can produce more quickly than forces of nature. That's actually not true. It's not something we know. In some cases, an intelligent agent may be able to produce something more quickly than nature. In other cases, nature is going to be more quick in achieving certain things, or the blind acts of nature, than intelligent agents. So even your attempt to reformulate on the fly got you immediately to another horribly flawed premise. I suggest you go take time and think about this and come back with something that you've thought about that actually addresses this.
Can we talk about evidence for
evidence? I think in all honesty, if you make this argument and if you think this really overturns all the naturalistic perspective and the scientific findings that we have, I think what you should do with that is not to call in here, with all due respect. What you should do with that is to go and challenge the scientific community and present this as compelling arguments, get your hypothesis accepted, and get a prize or some great recognition. Obviously, it won't achieve that. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm not a scientist, but I have to say it just sounds like a very absurd premise to begin with.
But there are people.
Nope. Moving on. There are 8 or 9 people on hold waiting to present their case. You had a week to think about your case, and you came in with a horribly broken example. And when I pointed out how it was broken, you wanted to reformulate it on the fly, and you went to another horribly broken example. I refuse to waste the time of myself, my co-host, the people watching, and all the people on hold so that you can strike 3. I'm done with 3 strikes. 2's enough.